My name is Connor Morris. I'm the project manager for Creighton Prep's IT innovation team. I'm here with my lead programmer, Nathan Skalka, his assistant, Spencer Nasrallah, head graphic artist, Matt Coffey, and designer, Adam Camp. Anatomy in Action is an instructional aid for high school anatomy and physiology courses that utilizes the Oculus Rift. Users are able to view, navigate, and manipulate the entire human body. Using a PC Xbox controller, users can cross-section, orbit, and remove various pieces of the body. Anatomy in Action will teach students specific anatomical and physiological lessons that were provided to us by local high schools and cover topics from the cardiovascular system to functions of the cell. So back in September, we met with several students from local high schools and asked them what their most common problem was in anatomy and physiology courses. They responded by saying that there was a gap between the flat illustrations on a page and the different orientations they were required to know to take labs and tests. Anatomy in Action allows the user to see every aspect of the human body, and from every angle, thanks to the Oculus Rift. In the classes that we observed, there was use of technology to complement the education. However, over 70% of the students responded by saying that current technologies were not as engaging or as fully interactive as they hoped they would be. The Oculus Rift adds that extra level of reality, and with the implementation of sound and audio lessons, will capture and sustain student attention. Now, the 3D anatomy products that primarily exist for mobile devices go for about $250 for an entire suite. Now, if every student was required to have a tablet and the app collection, then the budget would be out of range for a high school. That is why we have specifically tailored Anatomy in Action to a high school level, so that it can be cost-effective and efficient for our target audience.
We offer a 3D body which has been colored using an actual textbook as the color palette. This allows realistic colors for the body and different body parts, unlike a cadaver which often gets somewhat bleached through the process of sitting in a warehouse filled with formaldehyde. We offer hands-on control using an Xbox controller. This has become the archetype of most controllers used in everyday situations. So this allows students and teachers alike to be able to pick it up and fairly quickly figure out the controls and manipulate the body how they need to. Students can explore however they would like to. There's no flow that they are forced to go through. They can immediately look at the body, pick a certain section that they would like to look at more in depth, and explore however they feel. We've also found that the ability to directly interact with the human body allows a better understanding of the material that they're being presented. A study by T.L. Lewis showed that just the interaction with any 3D model improves the understanding of any material, especially in our case, anatomy. A study by Nicholson, T.D., showed that students who used a 3D digital body improved their test scores by 20% to a total of 83%. Now, earlier this year, in early August, we talked to Mercy High School students who said that they would be very interested if they had had a 3D body to interact with during curriculum activities. We also talked to Mercy and Marion teachers who said that if there was a product that was both available and affordable, they would use such a product, which is exactly what we're providing to them.
Our primary target audience are high school anatomy and physiology students. Specifically, within that group, we are looking at the subset of students who struggle with making the transition between flat 2D images on an anatomy textbook page and the actual 3D human form, which they would be required to know for labs and demonstrations, or just different orientations of the 2D human body that they would have to know for quizzes and tests. We also want to market ourselves to high schools and high school teachers who are teaching anatomy and physiology courses. We market ourselves to them through a Khan Academy-esque feature that allows teachers to capture their movements on the screen and draw over that in order to create lessons using our program, which can be shown to their classroom at a later time on the projector. Also, we plan to distribute ourselves online so as not to geographically limit our market size. However, we do plan to specifically market ourselves to local Omaha Metro high schools, as marketing to a geographically confined area is more effective. We already have a website up and live at www.anatomyinaction.org, on which we plan to market this product. So, back in the beginning of this competition, we spoke with Ms. Newville, an anatomy teacher from Mercy High School. She went over some common problems students have, some basic information about anatomy and physiology, and just in general, what it's like to be in and what it's like to teach an anatomy and physiology course. Then later that month, we spoke with Mr. Jeremy Caniglia of the Da Vinci Initiative. The Da Vinci Initiative is a group of high school and college art professors who want to set a standard for anatomically correct drawings by students of the human form. Now, they said that this tool would be extremely useful for art students who are looking at a correct human form in order to draw more accurately, as it allows them, through the Oculus Rift, to view every angle possible of the human body in order to get multiple viewpoints and to make more detailed drawings. Additionally, when we began developing this product, we saw it more as an educational game rather than the resource tool as what we see it today. However, after talking with several students and teachers, we decided that a resource tool would be more effective in conveying all the information needed in an anatomy and physiology course rather than an educational game, which limits ourselves in the content we can deliver due to actually having to include a gamification portion.
At the beginning of the development, we created and labeled and textured a human model through Blender based off of Netter's Atlas to the human anatomy. Then we moved on to the layering system, which allows you to peel away layer by layer through the skin, muscles, bones, and internal organs and systems in order to better understand where they place in a three-dimensional space. Next, we created an MRI system in order to show from the 3D back to the 2D so that so that students can understand where in the book you could see this in the three-dimensional space. Finally, body manipulation was incorporated through the controller in order to overcome angles that the Oculus could not reach on its own.
We plan an original retail price of about $60 for the entire product, without the Oculus Rift, of course. Now, this may seem a little expensive, especially when you consider the high school budget. However, when you look at other products competing to fill this niche, we see that this is relatively cheap. For example, Visible Body goes for about $240 for their entire suite of apps, and 3D for Medical goes about for $290. As you can see, our product is about the quarter of the price and still meets the need of high schools. And there is a demand. In fact, according to our market research, we have found that over 90% of students prefer to use 3D technology in addition to their anatomy and physiology class. And our product is tailored to its market. Some high schools use more expensive and much too complex products that are aimed at pre-medical and postgraduate students. Some high schools go to the opposite end of the spectrum, and they use products designed at middle school that, while cheaper, do not cover all the material needed at a high school level course. We have found the middle road in targeting our product specifically to high schools in both price and content.
So sure, there are physical anatomical models, but they go for about $30,000 to $1,000 for a single item. Just to have a comprehensive set, this would be well out of range for a high school's budget. Upon observing our research data, we found that there was an overwhelming suggestion for, like Coffee said, a Khan Academy-esque feature for our instructors to use. We listen to the people. That is why we are creating a screen capture system and a screen drawing system that will allow instructors to record their angular movements within Anatomy in Action so that it can be later then shown to an entire class on a projector. As more and more high schools are putting technology in the classroom, like Marion and Duchesne already having one-to-one programs, Prep will be having one next year, Anatomy in Action and the Oculus Rift takes it to the next level for this course. So, to review, Anatomy in Action is an educational resource tool for high school anatomy and physiology classes. Users will be able to view, navigate, and manipulate the entire human body. We plan to deploy Anatomy in Action much like how microscopes are shared in an actual class. We will have one unit per 3 or 4 students at a lab station. Currently, we have Anatomy in Action priced at $60 without the Oculus Rift, of course. However, we are exploring ways in which we can affordably get multiple units to high schools. And finally, another feature of Anatomy in Action is the custom lesson integration that allows our instructors to mold Anatomy in Action into the ways that they currently teach. Are there any questions?